Good morning. So today what I want to do is I want to focus on the resources that are available to the public through the Virginia State Patrol's sex offender portal, whatever they call it, resource section, supposedly for people who've convicted of sex offense. I say supposedly because if you listen to any of my videos, I explain to you just what constitutes a sex offender, but you would never find that from the State Patrol's site. The State Patrol puts on there immediately tier three offenders. These are the people who are supposedly the worst of the worst. But of course, we know that tier three, which is formerly called violent sexual predator, can include somebody who did not act quickly enough in the mind of the police officer or the charging documents and the person who charges the prosecutor to um, to deal effectively with the situation. That doesn't mean they ever did anything. It just means they're charged with not acting quickly enough. And of course, there could be lots of reasons why they didn't act quickly enough. And we have cases throughout Virginia where that is true as well. Well, be that as it may, the first thing they do to frighten the public is they talk about tier three. They never explain what tier three is. They never explain what the tier system is. They never explain tier one from tier two. They leave that to the public. So the public naturally gets the idea that anybody who is on the sex offender registry is a scary individual. And it's hard to believe in dealing with the Virginia State Patrol that they didn't do this deliberately. But whether they did or not doesn't really matter. Immediately, they start talking about tier three on this pamphlet. And on this pamphlet, they mention that tier three people are prohibited from being anything having to do with transportation. So, you can't get a CDL license if you've been convicted of a sex offense. Any sex offense, by the way. They point that out. Any. You cannot drive a bus, school bus, city bus, any kind of bus. You cannot do like a minivan or handicapped personnel transport services. You certainly can't run a taxi or Lyft or any of those services. You're not allowed to do that as somebody convicted of a sex offense. It also mentions the 3 day, what I call the 3 day rule. A lot of the things that people convicted of sex offenses are required to do are to be done in 3 days. So, for example, if you change your job, you have 3 days to let the Virginia State Patrol know. If you move within Virginia, you have 3 days. If you if you go, however, and you get a new email, remember you get a new job, you get a new email, okay, and you better register that within 3 days, or bad things can happen to you, okay. And I'm only half joking about it because you get some state patrolmen who are very happy to bump up their arrest record, and they're happy to run and get you. And I don't care whether you believe it or not. Just ask some people and see their stories and watch my videos, and you'll see that in fact that's the case. I tell the story of Mr. X down in Richmond, whose first name starts with X, and they did the exact same thing to him. And due to the incompetence of his compliance officer, he was punished for the incompetence. Um, so they do make it your job to do these things, but remember, once you do them, there's not much more that you can do. If you are going to register a social media account or something, there is an online portal to do that. The State Patrol is trying to make it easy on themselves by doing making all registrations online, which we oppose because the online system or any system to make it easier simply emboldens people to say, well, there's no real requirement here. It's very easy to register. But what they don't, or re-register, what they don't realize is that there's at least 100 conditions that will bar you in many ways from being able to live a normal life. And I've just covered a few of them in this one. I've talked also about if you move out of state, you have 10 days to effectuate new registration with the new jurisdiction, and they may decide that you are reclassified. And they may put you, even though you're 5 years into a 15-year stint somewhere, they may decide that, oh, we're going to start you at year zero again. All right. There's not much you can do about these things. So if you move to another state, you want to check it out as soon as possible. If you travel international, you have 21 days to let them know. There is some movement right now with people moving abroad because they can live a life where they have no contact offenses, and in the mind of the jurisdiction, very often that's not a thing, okay? Or you paid your price to society, which we say in American culture, we believe in. You pay your price and you move on with your life. Well, not if you've been considered to be a hard class felon or somebody convicted of sex offense. Then it follows you for the rest of your days. Okay. It doesn't matter whether you're on or off or registered or something. It's if people know about you, they make sure they make it as difficult on you as possible. You may think that's fair, but as I pointed out to you, there are many people, such as myself, who should not even be on it. We're no danger to anybody. It's simply a lying police officer who made up a story for himself, and a prosecutor picked it up because they get reelected based on how well they can seem like they're cleaning up the streets. And again, do the research. Don't argue with me. Lots of you want to argue with me on there, but you don't do any of the damn research. Um, so this pamphlet also talks about what to do if you have failed to register or something, and it talks about some scams, which is a recent addition, which is good because many of us get phone calls from scammers claiming that the law has changed and we have to turn ourselves in, and we have to, if we do it within a certain time, they will not fine us, but hey, if we pay this money to them, and very often you see it's a scam, a run out of a jail or something like that. So anyway, this is just a little bit on that pamphlet. Next time I'm going to do a pamphlet having to do with what the next pamphlet, how online safety, and how I use the information in that pamphlet to try to help the young person. I thought there was a young person in my own case that resulted instead in my arrest. So I'll try to tell that next time. For ICAC Unpacked, this is Norman Michael Asian. Have a good day.